to create or be a catalyst to positive change, start with one life. That's your neighbor. Start with somebody you feel you are a bit privileged than. And I'm telling you, you are adding positivity to our father's land. You are adding, you are one of the pillar, even with just one life. You don't know. Most things happen today, and people give reference to one person as a leader, someone that championed a movement, and the movement is catalyzing positive change. A lot of times, there are so many men that has made history. It was a man that championed the ideology behind lightning. And some brothers came together in their cluster to champion the technology behind aerospace. Today, down the memory lane, in every university that they discuss about that particular topic, they still talk about that. You are the investment. So if Nigeria were to be your child, it's the obvious will show itself, because we all know how we guide jealously what belongs to us. Even the sense of ownership guides jealously and fights with his or her life on what he believes he owns. And we have seen that demonstrated, and that is the same thing. And in fighting, it's not by creating chaos. When we say you should fight for your father's land, is you should put up a good attitude. You should put up a good image. You should be a good ambassador to your father's land. You understand? You should be conscious of your actions and reactions towards anything you're doing, because you're not just representing yourself. You're representing the family you came from. You're representing the states you came from. You are representing the nation and the continent that you have come from. You understand? Some people will see you today and they will not refer to you as Omo Yoruba. They will refer to you as a Nigerian. Some people will not even refer to you as a Nigerian. They will refer to you as that African. So, and that is why you need to wear a garment of nation building. And that is why the global cluster is here to bring to the subconsciousness of everyone, let's discuss topic of nation building. And that is why we're creating a Spark Up. I'm super, super excited about the free Spark Up that we're creating and the digital format of this Spark Up that is coming up next week. A place, another platform where everyone can come together, freely interact, share knowledge, share information, share connection. A place that an ordinary person can become an extraordinary person easily. A developed digital community that we have created for our own self to take the Federal Republic of Nigeria from where it is to where it ought to be. A place where, a brilliant child will be showcased. You understand? He does not need to have any connection in Abuja to get to the lamplight. A place where we will all come together, submit our knowledge, submit our information, submit our connection to be able to involve. A place where we will not need to hide anything from one another. A place where we will share things that will uplift us. After all, I said in one of our revolutions, we said people to people. What is there in sharing something that has made you involved? What is there? Because you have the wherewithal to have access to some sort of great places. Why can't you share information with people that that the information will transform their life. So everybody, including the lowest of the lowest among us, I want to tell you today,
Babe,
you have something.
You want the moderator?
to
Question to
contribute
video.
to the nation.
Type that. So
You understand? If you are the gate man in a company, you don't know that there is labor in dignity. And that is one of the things the global clusters will be emphasizing on. Being a gate man, you can give access to things that will endanger even the autocrat in the house. You understand? And that is why everybody is important in the global clusters and in the global clusters back up. So, if Nigeria were to be your child, will you abandon it? The answer is capital N-O. You can give it a chance. You can look at different strategy to actually approach, everything you do for your child. Sometimes some people might say, some people might wear some kind of attitude towards their child and they'll say, because the truth of the matter is that sometimes some children need to go through a bit of sufferness so that they will understand. Because in my mother's tongue, only Iyaoje Ologun than the teacher who taught you. Do you understand? So experience sometimes is not a bad thing. Most of us don't want our children to go through the kind of stress we have gone through in life. So we try as much as possible to guide them. But most of these our children don't really understand why we're guiding them. So some of them will tell you, oh, no, mommy, excuse, daddy, am I worried? It's because of the experience, but the time you let them burn their fingers. When they burn their fingers, when they come back, you put them in the line again. But yeah, this is how to do it. This is how to go about things. This is how to actually be that kind of person you want to be. So, if Nigeria were to be your child, you will not abandon it. So, this is a call to all Nigerians, both living in Nigerians and Nigerians in the diaspora. Don't abandon your father's land. And I can tell you, a lot of good things are currently happening. There's a lot of awareness. There is a community you can all belong to right now. Over 16 million Nigerians, we are calling you that you are on the social media. Going to 17 million of us that we are all on social media. Let us come into the global clusters, spark up, and let us submit our knowledge, our information, and our connection, and let us use it to involve. Let us use it to involve. And I can tell you, free of charge, that, we can actually, build a beautiful Federal Republic of Nigeria, just like the mantra of the 001 Global Security Cluster of the Global Clusters, that we can make Africa and Nigeria great again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
You are muted. You need to unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, on that submission. See, I'm actually glad that you kicked this off after our conversation this morning, and we both agreed that it should be part of what was brought up today. And I'm promising you that when I step foot in Nigeria, the very first time I address a crowd in Nigeria, that is going to be my very first submission within that particular forum. And I'm throwing this out to everybody out there today, everybody who's joined this platform today, right? And it's not just Nigeria alone. Let's talk Africa, because remember, my mantra, as I said, I stole it from President Trump, but I don't want to make America great. I want to make Africa great. And my question to you is this: if Africa was your child, especially all you women out there, right, who go through pregnancy, and you go through you're 9 months, and then you go through labor, and you go through having to look after the child for so many years, days, years, months, wiping snotty noses and clearing grazed knees, and having to pacify them after having bad dreams or falling over. If Africa was your child, right? If Africa was your child, would you abandon it? I'm going to bring in Master Genie now, because he's just honored me with his presence yet again. Master Genie, I'm going to throw that question to you. If Africa was your child, would you abandon it?
No, sir. Excellent morning. Our 001 security clusters of the global cluster.
How are you, sir? Absolute pleasure to have you here.
For all you do for humanity. Thank you for using your platform to build our father's land. And I greet our global president. I cite you, sir. Excellent morning, sir. Grace to grace, I greet you, sir.
Perfect morning to you, Master Genie 002 Samificator of the global cluster. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here once again.
If
Africa was my child, I will not abandon Africa. As a Yoruba man,
that's right. That's what me.
So the answer to that question is no, I won't abandon Nigeria. The best way is to, retrain, re-educate Africa, that my child, to show my child the way they are going wrong and show them the right way. Also, update whatever that has been outdated in their system so that they can understand what is going on and how they can also help their own future. I believe that's how to help someone that is your child, because condemning them or abandoning them is not going to help the situation, and it's not going to help them see what they are doing wrong, and it's not going to change their ways, except in English you say, if you cannot change them, you join them, and if you cannot join them, you change them. So the best way to help a child is to educate and train them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Master Genie. You see, I mean, while I'm sitting here and I'm listening to people, listening to yourself, listening to the global president, listening to others. I mean, I had a young man on here this morning. Obviously, I don't think he actually understood what we're talking about here when we're talking about security. And I said to him, what do you think Nigeria needs with regards to improving things like security in the country? And he said, oh, yeah, you have to arm the vigilantes and all these people and use traditional security people, etc. I said to him, well, what do you know that security actually means? Now, my big boss here knows that, where things like that concerned, the project for the next year for the global security cluster, especially within the Federal Republic of Nigeria, right, is to educate and re-educate all of these people who work in these sectors. Because at the moment, as it stands, we seem to have lost focus. We've lost sight of the rights and the wrongs of what we're supposed to be doing in that particular area, right? We've grown into a nation whereby people think looking the other way and pretending that you're not there is the answer to the problem at hand. Now, the young man earlier on said, oh, yes, because of people like Boko Haram and Concon. And I said to him, well, look, it takes a mother and a father to create a child. It takes the whole community, plus the village, right, plus the state, plus the Federal Republic to train that child, right? Now, if we're all singing from the same handbook, right, then we, in essence, proffer the solution to that problem, right? Nobody buys a pair of shoes and sees that that pair of shoes has a hole in it and decides to carry on wearing them. At some point, you will either patch up those shoes or you will buy another pair. As it stands in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or should I say in the Federal Republic of Africa at the moment, right? Our shoes are worn out and nobody seems to want to spend money to buy a new pair. right? And I'm going to jump on the back of my big boss and I'm going to say, listen, the global clusters is here for a reason, right? The global clusters is here for a reason. And one of those reasons is this: to proffer the solutions to these problems, right? We're not vigilantes, and we're not yobs. We're here to talk to people, to try and make people to understand, right? In the words of my Yoruba people, which is right? But we will try and put round pegs in round holes. Right? Now, we know that in Nigeria today, especially in Nigeria today, when it comes to security, people think that security means money, right? Pay me and it gets done, right? But then not pay me as in I've done my work for the month, I'm going to get my salary. Pay me as in I'll take the money and pretend that it never happened, right? Now, I said earlier on, right, there's a lot of people in diaspora who go to Nigeria to show off the fact that they actually, not that they're rich, because trust me, nobody here is rich, right? We're all working, right? And we work damn hard, right? And all that money that we get for working damn hard, they take it almost immediately because you've got your electricity bills to pay, your gas bill, your water bill, your council tax, your rent, your mortgage. You got to pay the insurance on your car. You got to pay your road tax. You got, isn't that right, Master Genie?
That's right. You have to pay tax, water tax.
Everything's taxed over here. Yeah. If you work and you earn £1,500 in the month, by the time you finish your bills, you pay 1,009. So nothing here is free, right? Yeah. But one of the things that Nigeria has to learn is this: cooperation, communication. Right? Those two things, cooperation, communication, right? And support will get you everywhere you need to get to. Right? But cutting corners, right, will only make a very, very bad sore into a terrible bruise. Right? And this is why, as I said earlier on, all of us who have come together and formed this fantastic phenomenon called the global clusters, right? Whereby every single master from every single industry has come together, up to and including the federal government, the president himself, chiefs of police, chiefs of military staff have all joined this cluster, right? We are making massive strides. Right? We're not trying to become president of Nigeria. I'm not trying to be president of Nigeria. I'm not trying to be a governor in Nigeria. I'm not trying to be a commissioner in Nigeria. Right? But I am trying to be an ambassador. Right? An ambassador for good things. An ambassador for change. An ambassador for progress. And I believe every single member of the global clusters is an in and up and coming ambassador for positive change. Right? My question is this: like I said, if Africa was your child, would you abandon it? If Africa was your child, would you not correct it when you see it falling off the rails? If Africa was your child, would you sit back and watch it deteriorate? If Africa was your child, and if after 60 odd, almost 70 years of independence, but couldn't wipe its own backside, would you still be proud to call yourself a Nigerian? So I'm calling out on all you Africans out there. As I've said weeks ago, right? Let's stop bigging up and talking about we live in UK, we live in US, we live in Germany, Holland, and all these other countries, and we're doing our best, and we've become members of parliament, and we're councillors over here, and we've just been voted in, and we're improving these countries, and yet our country's falling apart. Right? Just like I'm saying, I'm one of those men. I'm trying to go home, right? Because home is where my heart is, right? Home is where my heart is, because I know that in Nigeria, everything I do makes a difference, right? In Nigeria, everything I do makes a difference. Now, check it out. Now, some old people in Nigeria would turn around and say, oh, you know, they're only kids. What do they know? You don't give them this. You don't give them that. I'm going to go back to one of my favorite persons to talk about now, and that's Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. That young man, his next project is to have a United States of Africa passport, right? A United States of Africa passport, so that no African person ever has to get a visa to go into another part of Africa. Now, I ask you, is that or is that not progress? Global President, what do you think of that? Your Excellency, are you there? Okay, while we wait for His Excellency, Grace to Grace, what do you think?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. That is a very tremendous progress, by the way. I'm loving him so much that I know definitely we're going to see face to face because of all of the schedule and everything that we're trying to upgrade. I want to meet him with the upgraded version of the global cluster, the Spark Hub running, everything running. You understand? And that was why I have not gone to meet him. You understand?
Well, you need to involve me in that entourage. Right? I don't want to hear about it. I want to experience it. I do not want to be told, you know, because you know, right about now, that kind of aura is what I need.
We're going to be meeting him and we're going to be talking several solutions for Africa. We're joining him to ensure that, you know, we have one army, we have one, you know, one principle, one airline, one passport, everything. Every good thing that he wants to do, the global cluster, it's resonated with the ideology of the global cluster.
That's right.
Because all of us were smarter than one of us. All the 54 African nations coming together in unity, we are actually smarter than any one of the African nations standing on its own.
That's right.
You understand? And that is the ideology of Ibrahim Traore. And it's a no-brainer. It's the real deal. In the 1884, there was a conference held in Berlin, and that conference was to make sure that no African was in that conference. It was the Europeans, the Americans, all of them, the Asians that were there, and they decided to say, okay, this is how to keep Africa under our feet. They must not unite.
That's right.
Anytime we unite, anytime we start producing, you can imagine, in a country of almost 300 million people, we are still importing toothpaste.
Exactly.
It's not supposed to be like that. Every raw material that they use to produce this food comes from our land, and they will take it over there and sell this food to us very expensive.
That's right.
So all of these things is what we're trying to do, to say, let us all come together, submitting our knowledge, submitting our information, submitting our connection to evolve together. You understand? So that is what we are saying. So the vision of Ibrahim Traore is a no-brainer. It's the right things for the new normal.
That's right.
You know, the new normal now, one of the major ingredients of the new normal is collaboration. It's like an oil block.
That's right.
For the new normal. You understand? You even two of you is smarter than one of you.
That's right.
One of our favorite books says that one will chase 1,000. He said two. He did not say we chase 2,000. He said 10,000. So if you go by that principle, you will discover that when we unite, we can actually do a whole lot of things.
Of course we can.
And let us submit all of this ego down. Let us.
Yep.
You understand?
Totally.
The essence of all of this is so that we can have something that makes sense for our children and children, the one that are yet unborn, so that they can actually, you know, have a better formula to work with. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So please, African must unite.
Most definitely.
Nigeria must unite.
Most definitely.
Our diversity in tribe should be our strength, not to pull us down. Let us all understand that we are all human beings.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And let us all come together to build a beautiful Federal Republic of Nigeria and to create a United States of Africa. Thank you.
Totally. Thank you. Oh, that was beautiful. I couldn't have put that better myself. I really couldn't have. Master Genie, I'm going to throw that to you as well. That, you know, a United States of Africa passport. What do you think?
I think that is one of the solutions we need in Africa, because we have been divided for a long time. We have been made enemies of our own brothers. I mean, you know, so if the United Kingdom can exist, why can United Africa not exist? So it's a very good idea, and it's something that I believe is going to save the future of our children that are not yet born. If there is United States of Africa, there is one currency, then there will be unity in Africa, and Africa will be able to, you know, show the whole world that we are made of. We have the greatest natural resources. We have the greatest innovations than, you know, the Western world, because they are trying to, you know, rob us of the truth of Africa. Most of the history of Africa that we are knowing now were hidden from us. So obviously, if we are united as one, as United Africa, I believe it's going to solve a big problem on Africa's continent, and it will actually change the history of Africa. Thank you, sir.
Well, here's my question, right? Because I'm just realizing something that that His Excellency said just now. Now, if they can have United States, they can have United Kingdom. Why can't we have United Africa?
Exactly, sir.
Right?
Why not?
Now, here's the clincher for me. Now, Master Genie, I think you live here in the UK, right?
27 Schengen nation. That is European nation.
Yeah, I was just coming to that. I was actually just coming to that.
Why?
Right? Now, Master Genie, you live here in the UK, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, think about it. When these people decided, right, that they wanted to go in a different direction, right, they then created the States of Europe. Yeah? And they took it all under one currency. Yeah? Right? And they decided that their currencies, that is the pound, the euro, and the dollar, right, yes, are all more superior to the African nations.
Why?
Right? Now, bearing in mind that everything that these people use to build their countries comes out of the United States of Africa. Right? Now, my war cry today is this, right? We need to tighten our belts, right? And put our heads down and put our heads together and work hard, right? Because one can only want to be a second-class citizen for so long,